Brown delivers.
Got him up top. Hunter Brown, the diesel with some extra fuel. Getting Schwarber for his 9th strikeout of the game.
From MLB.com, this is the Morning Lineup Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Castrovins. Today is Friday, June 27th. And on today's show, we're going to talk about the unstoppable team that is once again right at home on top of its division, the team without a home that is shaking up the AL East, and the slugger who made himself at home in a ballpark that bears his name. Let's get to it. Surely the season will come when the Houston Astros are no longer contenders, right? The law of averages has to catch up to Houston at some point, doesn't it? A lot of us thought that day might be nearing when the Astros traded away star outfielder Kyle Tucker over the winter for a package that included third baseman Isaac Paredes and outfield prospect Cam Smith. While Paredes was brought in to help the Astros absorb the free agent loss of Alex Bregman, that trade was yet another recalibration for a team that looks drastically different from the one that won it all in 2017, and even quite a bit different from the one that went the distance just 3 years ago in 2022. But as fans of other AL West teams can tell you, the Astros just don't die. One reason for that is the emergence of a true ace in Hunter Brown, who took the mound in Houston on Thursday afternoon against a dangerous Phillies lineup and continued to pitch his way into the Cy Young conversation.
Hunter continues to roll.
9 strikeouts for Brown.
7 shutout innings for the second time this year. Start number 6 where he has gone shutout on the season. Hunter continues a brilliant 2025.
Brown threw 7 scoreless innings to lower his major league leading ERA to 1.74. He struck out 9 batters, didn't issue a walk, and allowed 3 singles. He left with a 1-0 lead. But the Phillies managed to score a run off the Astros bullpen in the 8th to tie it, after the Astros had remarkably held them scoreless for the first 25 innings of the series. So the Astros needed some offensive help late. And in the bottom of the 8th, after Paredes reached on a hit by pitch and moved to second on a Jose Altuve single, the rookie Smith came through.
Line drive over the head of Trey Turner, base hit. Here comes Paredes. He'll score the go-ahead run. 2-1 Stros in the 8th. Cam Smith, a big RBI. Attaboy, Cam.
Behind the brilliant Brown and the help of the Tucker trade acquisitions, the Astros won 2-1 to complete the sweep of their 2022 World Series opponent. It was the Astros' 12th win in 15 games, and they hit the midway mark of their season schedule, a season-high 15 games over 500, and in their familiar position in first place. Things are going well for Tucker on the first-place Cubs, too. But when Tucker returns to Houston for a 3-game series this weekend, he and the Cubbies will have their work cut out for them, because the Astros won't go away. Things are a little weird for the Rays this season as they play their home games at Tampa's Steinbrenner Field while Tropicana Field's hurricane damage gets repaired. And their impressive play could make things weirder. Earlier this week, sources told The Athletic's Ken Rosenthal that MLB and the Rays have had preliminary discussions about where the team could play home games if it makes the playoffs. According to Rosenthal's reporting, the concern is less of a concern for the wildcard and division series rounds than if the Rays advance to the ALCS, given ticket and media needs in the later rounds. This is a topic now because the Rays have been unstoppable for more than a month. They have baseball's best record dating back to May 20th, and though their schedule, which was front-loaded with home games to account for the brutal Florida summer weather at the open-air Steinbrenner Field, gets a lot tougher going forward with a heavy dose of road dates, you wouldn't know it this week. On Thursday, the Rays wrapped a 3-game series at Kansas City's Kauffman Stadium, and it was more of the same. In the 4th inning, left fielder Jake Mangum came to bat with a runner aboard and 2 out and broke a scoreless tie.
There's a liner into right center field. The Rays are going to get on the board. Extra bases for Mangum. And he's going to dig for 3 with that great speed. Safe at third base.
Later in the 6th, Brandon Lau hit a leadoff blast, and 1 pitch later, it was rising star Junior Camanero's turn.
There's a shot down the left field line. That ball's got great carry. It will go. Home run off the bat of Junior Caminero.
With Camanero's 20th homer of the season and Shane Baz pitching 8 scoreless innings in which he allowed just 3 hits and a walk with 9 strikeouts, the Rays rolled 4-0 to complete their 5th sweep of their season and their 25th win in their last 34 games. And what do we have here in the AL East standings? I see just half a game separating the Rays from the first place Yankees, the owners of their quote-unquote home ballpark. This is a much different landlord-tenant spat than we see in the real world. Coming up, we were beating the bushes to find you a quirky story that took place in St. Louis yesterday. That's after the break. The Cubs beat the Cardinals at Busch Stadium in St. Louis on Thursday by a score of 3-0 to salvage a 4-game split with their NL Central rivals. The Cardinals have been creeping up on the Cubs in the standings, but now sit right where they started before the series began at 4.5 games back, while the second-place Brewers are 3 back. But ladies and gentlemen, that was not the big story from Busch. No. The big story was Busch. Michael Busch, the Cubs' first baseman, came to bat in the top of the second inning and made history of a sort.
Hammered right field. That one back on its way and gone. Michael Busch will touch them all. His 13th of the year, and the Cubs jump out front.
There it is, a homer for Busch at Busch. Believe it or not, in 3 iterations of Busch Stadium in St. Louis, dating back to 1953, there had never been a Busch. B-U-S-H, B-U-S-C-H, or any other spelling you can come up with to go deep in that building. Leave it to our friend and researcher extraordinaire Sarah Langs to go deep herself on this one. She looked at ballpark names past and present and found a few but not many Homer homophones, such as Chase Utley and Chase Headley going deep at Chase Field, Damian, Brad, and Bill Miller all going deep at what used to be known as Miller Park, and Jacob Cruz going deep at what once was Jacobs Field. Also, did you remember that Trey Turner's first career homer came at Turner Field? I'm guessing he does. I urge you to check out Sarah's full article at MLB.com for all the examples, but suffice it to say what Busch did at Busch was rare. He really made a name for himself. Elsewhere in MLB, Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani were the leading vote getters in the AL and NL in Phase 1 of the All-Star balloting and therefore advanced directly to the starting lineups for the July 15th game in Atlanta. The remaining top 2 vote getters at each position advanced to Phase 2 of the voting, which begins Monday at noon Eastern Time at MLB.com and the MLB app. You can, of course, head to MLB.com to check out the full Pro Spirit MLB All-Star ballot. Speaking of All-Stars, 2 of them got plunked as tensions flared between the Blue Jays and Guardians at Progressive Field on Thursday. Toronto superstar Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was struck by a pitch for a second straight day in the top of the 3rd inning, and then Cleveland superstar Jose Ramirez was hit in the bottom of the 4th. Both players were struck in the forearm, though thankfully x-rays were negative on each. The Blue Jays won 6-0 to take the 3-game series. Future Hall of Famer Clayton Kershaw is now just 3 strikeouts shy of 3,000 after K'ing the Rockies 5 times in a 3-1 win at Coors Field. The Tigers remain tied with the Dodgers for best record in baseball after beating the A's 8-0. Kyle Stowers and Agustin Ramirez both went deep in the Marlins' 12-5 win over the Giants. A 4-hour, 22-minute rain delay proved worth the wait in Minnesota as the Twins thumped the visiting Mariners 10-1. After dropping 10 games in an 11-game span, the Mets have now won 2 in a row. They beat the visiting Braves 4-0. Finally, Royal superstar Bobby Witt Jr. announced that he will again be with Team USA for the World Baseball Classic in 2026, and this time he's likely to have a more pronounced role than he had in 2023, when he was just a wee bitty baby. That's all for the morning lineup. Be sure to check out Kyle Tucker's return to Houston tonight at 8:10 Eastern Time, 7:10 local on MLB.tv. You also don't want to miss Shohei Ohtani's 3rd pitching appearance for the Dodgers in Saturday's 4:10 Eastern, 1:10 Pacific Time game against the Royals in Kansas City. I'll be back with you on Monday to recap all that and more. Until then, thanks for listening. Please be sure to leave us a rating and review, share this episode with the baseball lovers in your life, and have a great weekend, everybody.